light sleeper, child. Anyone tries to wake me. Clear! Clear!
Clear.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Trying to talk about how to approach making a movie is difficult. Each one has its own personality. What basically you start with is an idea for a director of photography. You want to begin meeting production designers. You want to begin the process of setting up how to make the movie. And one of the big keys to me in making the thing was discovering John Lloyd. You see, I had come from low-budget filmmaking, and I had never really worked in a studio situation, and John came along with enormous enthusiasm and knowledge and a great eye.
Well, essentially, I was working for Universal Studio at the time, and the script came across my desk, and I read it and said, my God, this is probably one of the best science fiction films I've ever read in my life. And then I heard about John Carpenter, and he was coming on the lot, and I heard about his reputation. And I made a connection with one of the production managers to talk to him and then arrange an interview. And I took my drawings and things up and talked to John and ended up getting the show.
I met John, I'm not sure what year it was, but it was just before Halloween. It was for Halloween. Deborah Hill introduced us, and John decided that we would probably make a good team, and so we worked on Halloween.
Basically, it's a process of lining up the people to do the movie. And one of the crucial decisions we had to make was on the special effects and whether or not to hire, what kind of an effects person to go with and what kind of a concept to go with. And I chose Rob Bottin.
I saw Halloween, and I instantly became a John Carpenter fan. He was, that film is just amazing. It amazed me. And I had the fortune of working on a picture, which was a Roger Corman film, Rock and Roll High School. I met Dean Cundey. He did an amazing job on Halloween. I was also a big fan of him as a cinematographer and a director of photography. And I begged him to introduce me to John Carpenter. You know, I said, I gotta work with this guy. So I went in and I met John, and he was shooting The Fog. And I said, you know what, do you have any creepy kind of characters that, are in this movie? I said, I'd love to play it. You got anything like the guy with a mask in Halloween or whatever? He says, as a matter of fact, I do. And actually just sort of burst in on this meeting, and he's going, who's this guy? To Dean, right? And I'm like going, I'm your big fan, right? And, I asked him this question, then he said, stand up. I thought he was going to say, and get out, right? When I was hitting him up for this part, And he looked at me a second, he goes, you got the job. Be there tomorrow. You got to do this with the makeup, this. So I got to work with him, and I was very happy, and we had a good working relationship and really had a lot of similar interests and things. And he said, guess what? He goes, I'm going to do a movie called The Thing, And I said, you kidding me? You're going to remake The Thing? And he said, yeah. He says, that's the idea. And he says, I want you to make The Thing. Right, and I went, oh my God, this is fantastic, And, actually, after I did The Fog, I actually did a picture called The Howling. And it was such a big success for me. And I was about 20 years old when I did that. And I think I finished up the project when I was 21. And John saw the movie, and he called me up one day and he said, you got to get in here. We're doing the movie now. We're doing the thing.
Well, Rob Bottin has a great sort of strange imagination, and of course his characters, likewise, the creatures and so forth. I was really intrigued and challenged by the fact that we would be doing some things that hadn't been done up to that point in creating these illusions. We tried all kinds of things, cranking the camera faster and slower, and under cranking and shooting the camera upside down so the backwards action looked somehow strange. A lot of different sort of photographic techniques. One of the tricks with working with rubber, whether it's a mask or a makeup appliance, or whether it's a completely fabricated creature, is lighting it carefully so that it looks real, so that there's you don't give away the tricks, the little seams and the paint and the wires and all of the things that are necessary to make it work. And Rob was always very sensitive about his creatures. There was, whether there was too much light on them.
So I didn't spend much time there, but when we were at the shop, Rob had already started sculpting a lot of the things, like he sculpted the fused bodies that we find in the Norwegian camp. And that was lying on the floor when I walked by the first time, and I just remember thinking, this is incredible art. This is amazing, grotesque art that he's created here. The same thing with the big fused dog thing. It was actually before they put all the hair and the slime and everything, and all that pink slime, all that drippy stuff, and the pieces of king crab claws or whatever the hell he used for that. Before he put all that stuff on it, it was an amazing piece of sculpture. Just beautiful. I mean, grotesque, horrible, but also...
When I started seeing some of the effects that Rob had created, there was one particular sequence where Charlie Hallahan's head comes off the table and a tongue shoots out and it pulls across, turns over, and grows stalks and walks across the floor. When I saw that, I realized a great sense of relief, because what I didn't want to end up with in this movie was a guy in a suit. See, I grew up as a kid watching science fiction and monster movies, and it was always a guy in a suit. Or sometimes it was a kind of bad puppet, like It Conquered the World comes to mind right now, Roger Corman's movie, this kind of vegetable monster kind of going like this woodenly. And my fear was, they'll laugh at us, there'll be a joke. I mean, even as great as the movie was, and Alien was a terrific movie, it's still, in the very end, up stood this big guy in a suit. Oh, I don't want to do a suit. You know, I want something that's alive. So I was, when I saw that stuff coming out, I was like, oh man. Now, there were some effects we had to fool with. They didn't work perfectly. Because this stuff is not like, as Rob said to me, it's not like ordering pizza on the phone. You have to build it and create it. And sometimes it doesn't work. In our case, I think it did.
You gotta be fucking kidding.